Well, hello, everyone. Good afternoon, good late morning to you, wherever you might find yourself today. Very happy that we could be together for another Envase webinar, this time with our good friends at GeoStamp. And Adam Rogers joining us there. In just a moment, he's going to walk us through everything GeoStamp has to offer, give us a little demo, and as always, take your questions on what you have going on. So again, happy to have you with us. Geo-tracking, geolocation, what does any of that mean? How can we apply it to our business? Well, that's what Adam's going to tell us all about. This new and fantastic offering is part of the Envase family. To start, I'm going to throw up a little question here to the audience. There's a poll there that should appear on your screen, so why don't you go take a look at that. What do you know about geo anything? Location, fencing, tracking. Do you have a lot of experience here? Are you a pro that you've heard the name GeoStamp, want to learn more? Are you just trying to better understand right now? Go ahead and tell us now. Adam is dying to know who he's talking to here. So let's take a quick look at that. Appreciate everyone in their comments there. All right, that's pretty good. Come on in, everyone else who's joining now. Go ahead, fill out that survey for us. How much do you know about the geo world? All right, so I'm going to end this poll right here. And I'll share the results. So there you go, Adam. You get a feel for it, a little bit across the board, a little experience, but a whole bunch of different people joining us here. So that's really exciting. So again, welcome everyone. Happy to be here at this Envase webinar. My name is Kevin McCahill, Director of Customer Success at Envase. Joined in a moment, Adam Rogers from GeoStamp. To our attendees here, as we listen, as we learn, and we watch through Adam, what he's providing, and also a demo we're going to see, please bring your questions. There must be many questions you have about what geolocation, geo-tracking, geofencing, all of it, what it means, how you can use in your business, and how the tool specifically works. So you would notice in your little Zoom box there is a Q&A tab or a chat tab. That's where you want to go type in those questions. We'll save them all to the end, and then we'll just read them back to Adam, and he'll no doubt be happy to answer any and all questions that you might have. So please feel free to use that Q&A, use that chat, and we'll share those for Adam at the end. Excellent. We're recording here. We can play this back and watch it back later as well. So we look forward to doing that. But let's get right to it. Again, Adam Rogers joining us from GeoStamp. Adam, how you doing today?
Doing well. I'm excited. I'm glad we have a pretty good turnout, and a lot of people need to know about what we do at GeoStamp and Envase. So excited.
Excellent. Yeah, so Adam, joining us from the LA area. I think I have that right. So Adam, very happy to have you with us, and the floor is yours. Please take it away.
All right. Hello, everyone. I'm glad you joined us today. So today we're going to be going over a brief overview of how GeoStamp kind of came about. Obviously, you know that now we're under the Envase umbrella, and then we're after the our slide deck, we'll go through actual live environment to show you how a real world use for the trucking companies and the analytics side, which is terminal and government entities. So GeoStamp launched in 2015. I'm just going to give a brief overview. You guys can read over this, but basically it was designed for a trucking company at a trucking company. So about 4 or 5 years ago, the owner of GeoStamp was still the owner of Southern Counties. So Brian Griley, some of you may be familiar with that name. He created GeoStamp because there was nothing in the industry to track wait time and to have very detailed data to go back to the terminals to basically fight the wait time charges, and obviously provide that to their customers so they can actually charge that back. So our industries, who we serve, right? I kind of mentioned the drayage trucking space. So port and marine terminal logistics, trucking and dispatch optimization, and government special projects. So the port and marine terminals, that speaks to our analytics. So as we dive more into this and I give you the live demo, you'll see that we aggregate all truckers that are GeoStamp customers. So we aggregate that data and we're able to push that out to terminals, to government agencies. Also, the truckers use that to compare what their fleet's doing versus basically every other GeoStamp user within their region. So we collect the data from more than 24,000 trucks. So we are actually worldwide now. So we have a customer in the Port of Tokyo, but we have regions across the United States. So that's how we break it up by region. So we have LA, Long Beach, Houston, back east, New Jersey, Chicago, Florida, Port of Oakland, Seattle. So anywhere where there's a need to track this wait time and track fleet movement, we are in that space. Trucking and dispatch optimization. So the wait time reporting, as I mentioned, dispatch and operations are using that to report on what their drivers are doing. We're seeing a bigger need for that now, especially in California, with more company drivers coming on board due to some of the laws that have passed. Breadcrumb map reports that will show you live. That's every second. We ping at least two breadcrumb moves a minute. So it actually, every minute we're pulling a breadcrumb trail. Advanced analytics, again, that's us crunching the numbers at the different regions with different trucking companies by region, fleet, and type of work. The fleet performance dashboards, again, we're going to go over that. That'll show you what your fleet's doing versus everybody else in the world. And also, customer reporting and custom reporting that we can push out. Just, I mentioned government projects. We've done projects with a lot of universities. We've done it with we just finished one with the Port of Oakland and EBCE, East Bay Clean Energy. So the analytics and the data is very valuable at the moment. This is not any government agency that works with us. Obviously, all the data is cleaned up. It's generic. All it is breadcrumb trail moves and usually volume of moves. Products. Mentioned GeoStamp virtual dispatcher. That's something that we're working on currently, and that could be, I believe we're going to do a webinar probably that in future state. GeoStamp analytics, consulting, advocacy, customer application, and development. So we are always willing to help the customer create what they need. So from customer to customer, we have certain, custom reporting that gets pushed out if they want to see certain turn times. If there's something with our product that needs to be developed, obviously we work with the customer, and you guys are the front line, right? Any customer that's basically how this has been developed and built, is what the customer needs and what they would like to see as the industry changes. So custom geofencing, delay time tracking, email alerts. I'll show you that as well. So the email alerts, so as an event happens with the wait time for a trucker, you can have the email set up where it's hitting your guys' inbox. So it's a customer service rep, a billing rep. They see that event, they're able to click that event and go straight to it and say, okay, this driver had this much wait time and I'm going to bill it. And you can email the PDF from there. Real-time optimization measurements. We are constantly pulling the data between our fences, and that actually is aggregated as far as how long it's taking on the street. So if we're seeing congestion in certain corridors, obviously at the terminals, you're seeing that in live time where you can make real-time decisions about your capacity and about where you need your trucks to be. So here's a little screenshots. We're going to go over this live environment. So that's the home dashboard, excess move reports. This is the functionality and the level of detail that you can see. Breadcrumb move reports. So that you see here, a lot of pings, right? So every minute, like I mentioned, our coding and our analytics behind it and the way our algorithm works, two pings at least every minute. We can throttle it up to more if the customer needs it, but every minute the driver's sitting, it'll record. So obviously they start moving, those breadcrumb trails will keep moving every minute. So with driver pay and customer invoicing, all this detailed data, we have a way that you can actually go in and it'll manage whatever wait time parameters you choose. So how much the driver should get paid, how much the customer is going to get charged. And then obviously it puts in a nice little package so you can see it right off the bat and bill from there. The analytics piece, time reporting, real-time updates, sectional bottleneck identification, like I mentioned. So we were taking the traffic data as well as what's happening in the terminal, and we're posting that. Artificial intelligence, and AI learning, basically machine learning. That's what our algorithms are doing in the background. I work very closely with our development team, so we're constantly looking on new ways that we can better our product. So there's a little bit of product highlights: tracking, performance monitoring, GPS, geofencing technology, SaaS-based solutions. So everything, we don't have anything on site; it's all SaaS-based. So solutions for modernity, cloud infrastructure, API integrations, automated scaling. On the API integrations, we have worked with over 12 GPS providers to get direct API integration. So to my knowledge, there's not really a GPS provider that we haven't worked with at some point in time. Right now, we have 8 active GPS providers that we're pulling direct APIs with. So that means, we are leveraging whatever GPS provider you happen to have. So whether that's XRS, Samsara, Keep Trucking, we're agnostic. Whatever you bring to the table, that's what we use. All right, that's it for my slideshow. So here we go. This is an actual live environment. So let me know if you can see that, Kevin.
Yep, looks good.
Good to go. All right. So what you're seeing here is an actual test environment pulled from live customer data. So they're 3-4 days old, but we are pulling the live analytics and turn times from the terminals. So this is what you'll see when you log into GeoStamp as a trucker or operations that has either asset-based carriers. You actually are dispatching trucks. So you'll first see this graph. It's the X and Y here. This is basically compiling everything that your operation would be doing versus whatever else in all the other truckers, which could be in LA Long Beach, up to 3,000 trucks a day. In other areas, say such as Oakland, it's about 800 trucks. And obviously, it kind of fans out from there. So you'll see here 60-minute average. That's what this fleet's doing at the moment across all terminals. Average in-gate, 83 minutes. And you'll get the first look as I hover over one of these bars is in-gate my fleet, completed my fleet, aggregated in-gate, and aggregated complete. So what that means is anything in my fleet, that's what this trucking company is doing, versus the aggregated, that's all the other trucks, right? So as I hover over one that's been completed, see here at 8 p.m., in-gate my fleet is 79 minutes. So you got in-gate on everybody else is 71. So this trucking company is just above the average for today. And you can look at the aggregated as well. So aggregated complete is 63 minutes. So they're just over about four minutes over the completed for the rest, right? So this will kind of let you look into your operation and say, you know what, why am I not producing as quickly as the rest? Or am I doing better, right? So that's something you could push back to your customer. And a lot of these, obviously can be, hey, maybe you're doing more free flow. Maybe the other companies are doing more free flow and such. You have the option here to go by 5 days, 30 days, 90 days, and that'll pull all this information and it'll change your move count. So here's kind of, we do a lot of repetitive analytics and data here. Just people like to see it differently, right? So this will show my total moves by terminal. This is showing all my moves today. So I have 31 moves today. It'll show you in excess of 1 hour, excess of 2 hours, and excess of 3 hours, right? So I'm kind of concerned. I'll say, okay, I got 2 at excess of 2 hours. Now I have the option. I can click here or I can click on the bar graph. So it'll lead you to the same spots. So if I click on here, I want to look at these 2 that are over 2 hours. So you see here, as I mentioned, the TMS integrations. If it's on your company driver or owner operator that's pulling on your TMS, say they're using your mobile app, they're using a tablet, whatever that may be, we have the ability to pull customer level ID, your customer name, container, leg type, order ID, truck number from your TMS. So that's the full API integration. Now, if it's on a base level, you're going to get driver and truck number and then matching ID so that you obviously can match that up to any kind of wait time activity you have. You'll see here 121 minutes. I'm going to click on this. So this is going to give you the first view of an actual movement of breadcrumb trails. So before I dive into this breadcrumb trail, I'm going to show you here how it calculates and how it compiles the data and the time. So we have the ability and we set pretty much all the perimeters in any port. So it's worked upon and agreed upon between the trucker and the terminal. We find out, basically where their trouble window is, roadability, anything that they need to have fenced within fences, and obviously the perimeter. Same thing with these, anything this yellow is an in queue, right? So we have set in queues that we cannot be changed. But any customer of ours can go in, or we can have us create extended queues. They can have extended queues, or they can have a one giant perimeter. So they, they're not seeing all these different level details of like, flip line, like I mentioned, roadability, trouble window, and such. So you look here, in Q1, I spent 8 minutes. In Q2, 6 minutes. Total time at YTI is 99 minutes. So you can break that down right off the bat and say, okay, it wasn't really the queue. My driver spent 99 minutes while inside the terminal. So I'm going to expand this so you guys get a better look. It's going to show stop 1, minute 0 is that green. Minute 1, 2, 3, as you see, they were moving pretty well through the in queue, right? Where they had the wait time and the trouble was actually in the terminal, right? So they're in line to get their container, get flipped, whatever was going on. That's where they spent most of their time. So this here is a clean version. You can actually click this and get a PDF. You always can, we go with the compact. The detailed will give you every single breadcrumb movement. So I'm just going to put test here. Should pop up. Let me see here. So I'm going to open the PDF. This is the actual invoice that you can send to the customer. So you see here, it breaks it down just what we viewed. In gate, out gate, how much time they spent in the terminal. This one you can obviously save it and go straight and send it to your customer and email it, or print it out for your backup, whatever you need. So what we found out, there's no need, and like I said, it's been about 5 years or longer where customers are just sending the GeoStamp data, the GeoStamp backup to their customer. You're not having to pull interchanges. You don't have to pull the manifest. You don't have to attach that. Obviously you want to give a heads up to your customer and to begin with and say, hey, this is the new way we're going. We are more than willing to be on a call. Say you are a new GeoStamp customer, you're going to start using this to bill your customer. We'll be on the call. We'll explain it to them what you're looking at, what they're seeing. That way it kind of eases that transition. So that is a move from start to finish, how you would send it out to your customer. Now, the next thing we're going to go to, the final thing is the analytics. And then we're going to I'll give you an overview of all these tabs on the left side here. So with the analytics, we have many options that you can view by. As you can see here, shift view, hourly view, moves view, time view, move detail view, monthly trend view, monthly percentage breakdown, and weekly trend view. So what this is giving, it's giving operation a better look into what their trucks and what their fleet are, what they're doing. Obviously, how you want to see it, right? You can compare day shift versus night shift, the hourly view, where are you hitting your pain points? Is it before lunch, after lunch? Is it more in the afternoon during shift changes? You're able to do that. So you see here, I can break it down by region. This is obviously going, I can change the year here. I can go into certain tracks. So right here, this is a customer that's LA Long Beach based, and they have Oakland region. So if you were a customer and you needed all regions, you're nationwide, your list would be quite long because you would have Chicago, Houston, Seattle. You can compare them, right? So I can go in just to LA region. I can look at current or historic data. I can break it down by terminal. So if I wanted to compare APMT to FMS, I can see what they're doing, right? So day shift this is a day shift for night shift view, right? So a while back in California, at least, there was that whole, peer pass and alleviate the day shift. What we're seeing, obviously, the trend, it's, this is for pretty much almost a whole year. It's not that much of a difference day versus night out here, at least in LA Long Beach. This goes, I can see the moves view, and I could basically compare how many moves I've done to APMT versus FMS, the times, breakdown by percentage. You'll see here, hour, 1 to 2 hours. I can break anything down by day and night shift, and I can also look by tracks, right? So like I mentioned earlier, customer has the ability to go in and create their own fences, or have myself or my team create fences. So you can actually look by the system tracks as the ones GeoStamp's created that are not being changed. You can go to system specialty tracks, and it'll show whatever regions they have created. And this is a test environment. So, but if they have certain, fences created, their warehouses, anything of that nature, let me change the dates here. If they're going to be able to see that. So if it's warehouses, yards, whatever they would like to see, it's going to populate. It's a test environment. So there we go. So these are going to be specific test yards or anything outside of it, right? So these are specialty. You'll see APMT wheeled, APM trouble. These are all everything else, all the tracks and parameters outside of the normal fences. So since we went over the analytics, I'll kind of just hover over these different tabs, right? So if you're going into tracks, this is where you would create any kind of tracks. You can see them. This is where we get a lot of feedback from customers that are very involved. They can look at these tracks and run their moves report and see maybe there's drivers that are outside the fence. Maybe the fence needs to be narrowed or expanded. Vehicles, any truck that is using your GPS device is automatically entered and automatically populated into GeoStamp. So there's no manual entries. You don't have to go in there and add each truck as they get it, as they come on board onto your fleet. They're already going to populate. Same thing with drivers. Like I mentioned, there's a little bit of redundancy. You can search your moves by drivers, by truck. Say maybe a driver didn't log in, but we're still tracking that truck. You can actually go in here and search by driver ID versus driver name. And we're agnostic to how you want that set up. If you want your driver ID to be name, or their employee number, or the truck numbers, we just pull whatever's in your TMS and whatever naming conventions you guys are using. So you have the ability to, with their settings, to add any users you would like. We have some customers that have 20 users, maybe they have 2 users, whatever you would like to do. And obviously we have different levels that, you have your administrative people. So that'd be, ops managers, VPs, they can go in there and create different users. And then obviously you can change and add whoever you would like the emails to go to. So basically this is just a look in the background. These are email addresses or who these move events are going to. So they're going to get an automated report past their threshold. What I mean by threshold, you see here, wait time's 150 minutes. Whatever you want to set your threshold at, if it's an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever your free time is, you set that here. Now with a full integration, with this setup, you can actually set up different customers with different wait time parameters. So if you have one customer, say Nike, that gets 3 hours free, you can go in there and update that, and it's going to populate and send that email to whoever's doing the billing at that threshold. So you see here, you have the ability, like I said, manage users. This is where we can pick different regions. So whatever you subscribe to, their default when they see on their dashboard is Long Beach, LA. Now, if they wanted to see Oakland, it would put that on as well on that main dashboard on the X and Y graph. Go back to the home screen here. So as you mentioned, there's some, we're pulling these feeds from the terminals. That's why you'll see the stop sign. This is not cameras that we own. This is actually, we are pulling this from the terminal websites. So you can actually, have a live view of what's happening at the terminals. This is something that we can actually customize per region. I'll go over this dashboard toggle. This kind of just gives you in-gate real quick. It gives you 2 graphs, and still with the excess move and your total moves count. But it's just another graph. And also, all these graphs and all these reports that we pull are all exportable. So if I'm clicking on my moves report, we have some customers that are going in by vehicle. Basically, they're just going in by vehicle, filtering the move times, and then just exporting out and billing, at that level. So they can actually just do it at the end of the day, instead of depending on, as they get these these notifications in their email instead of clicking and billing. They're just doing it at the end of the day or end of the week, whatever their billing process is. All right, Kip, I believe that's GeoStamp at the 1,000-foot view.
Excellent. That was fantastic. Thank you very much for walking us through it again. Adam Rogers joining us from GeoStamp. Very nice job. So to our audience, what questions do you have? You showed us a lot of very interesting things. Think about your business. Think about what you heard there. Type it into the Q&A, and we would be more than happy to answer any of these questions that you might have. Go ahead. I'll give you a minute to do that. And Adam, a great presentation. Appreciate that. A question I had for you. So does GeoStamp only track at terminals and warehouses?
We can actually geofence pretty much anywhere we want. So we have some customers that we've done projects for. We've geofenced whole corridors, right? From the terminal down the highway to a warehouse. They wanted that because maybe they had some hot, freight, high value cargo. So we can actually, and what we're seeing the trend go to now is more of the warehouses, right? The wait time and the pain point is not just at the terminal anymore. It's also at the warehouse. So we're having more warehouses and yards fenced. So anywhere that you need fence, we can do.
Excellent. And I'm assuming it comes with a sort of device. Do you provide the device itself, or how does that work?
So we're agnostic. So whatever GPS provider, we do have some contacts, if you're new into the industry and you're not running an ELD yet or any type of mobile app. So basically mobile app, hardwired device. If they're using a tablet, we use most of our customers are using some type of mobile app that they're getting dispatched on, and we just pull those pings from that.
Great. Question here from Lee. For dwell time, do you filter off anomalies like a truck that parks at a yard overnight that could affect the dwell time against real in and out times for pickup?
Yes, we do. So we have the algorithm behind. That's a great question, actually. So we work constantly with the terminals. We have some terminals, at least I'm speaking out for LA and Long Beach, where drivers are waiting on the shoulder. So we basically are creating algorithms for these moves. If they're not actually moving through that line, and then actually once they go into the terminal and make a actual pickup or break that fence into the terminal, those times are getting thrown out. And obviously we buffer for these wait times. Same thing we have right now is our threshold 7 hours. Anything over that's getting thrown out because we do have some drivers that are going to their yard and not logging out. So it's pinging the whole time, right? And we can see that. And so if there's no move outside of a certain bubble, those are getting thrown out so that we can have accurate data. Excellent.
Very nice. A great question, Lee. Thank you for that. How about dealing with owner operators and company trucks?
So that's come up more so now. If your owner operator is using your mobile app, basically, if they're getting their dispatches on their phone or a tablet, we pull that same GPS ping. And I know there's some pain points. I actually went through it when I ran an operations at Performance Team. Was the owner operators thought, hey, you're going to just track us. That's what you wanted to do. Well, they already dispatch and operations already know what they're doing. And I'm more than willing to have a conversation. Basically, the way we kind of word it, or the way I have, is if you want to get paid quicker and more accurately for your wait time, all we need to do is pull your GPS ping from your app during the time you're working, right? As soon as they log off, there's no pings going through. We can set those up for the owner operators. It's only when that app is active, right? Only when they're logging in and we're pinging that.
Excellent. Very nice. Any other questions, folks, while we have Adam here? Adam, while we're waiting for questions, would you mind terribly either putting in your email address or the best contact we should use? So as users, I don't know if that was at maybe the last slide of your PowerPoint, but so that anyone who's interested could contact you and find out more?
Yeah, definitely.
You can shout it out too if you want to do that. That's also fine.
Yeah, just A Rogers at Envase. So it's Rogers is with the D. I'll put it in the chat right now as well.
Very good. A Rogers at geostamp.com, and we'll put in the chat. Excellent. All right. Well, very good. Well, all right. You might want to here. I'll stop the screen share so we don't all read your email there.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. There we go. Very good. Excellent. So again, we thank you all very much for being here. For Adam, for showing us around a very useful tool. As I mentioned, we recorded this. We'll make sure it's up online so anyone could watch it again. Of course, share it around with your teams or anyone else who might be interested in GeoStamp. And Adam, thank you very much for being here and being a great partner.
No problem. Thank you, Kim. Talk to you.
Thank you to all our attendees. Hope you have a great rest of the day. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Adam.